Hey guys, what is up? It is Bibzuda7 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 vlog here today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about this week's update and patch notes, and just talking about what they added. There's a couple of patches this week, and some fixes that I definitely think are worth mentioning, but there was no actual update this week, and no real indication on when the next actual content update is going to be. And I'm just hoping at least by the beginning of June that we hear something about what's coming in summer. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see, because they have, ever since Mod Warden kind of took over, they have kind of been straying away from the month ahead videos. They haven't really done those at all, which kind of is disappointing to me. Like, even if they don't have a big content update coming, I'd still like to hear about some of the smaller, you know, maybe ninja fixes that are coming out, or, you know, what things that they plan on improving. At the moment, I'm just making incense sticks here, but I will have a couple things to show that I want to talk about. So yeah, but the headline of the update is the Mental Health Awareness Week event that's going on. Basically, it's just another one of their token events where you get the tokens from doing skilling and training stuff in the world, and you can hand them in for some cosmetics and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing really too different about these events. They've been going on for years now, so I'm sure you all know the gist of it. And yeah, I hopefully you should be able to finish that without a problem. And apparently you'll also get extra tokens if you are doing archaeology or contributing to collections, which is also archaeology, but yeah. And apparently you can also buy prizes from previous years, because they've run this event more than once. You can buy those from the Solomon store if you missed out on them. But yeah, other than that, there were a couple things in the patch notes. So something from mobile was brought over to PC that people wanted, and I have it disabled at the moment, but it is the walk markers. So you can disable it or enable it. It's enabled by default when you log in after the update, but it's under gameplay in the settings, general, in the drop down game interaction section, and down here, behavior of game interaction, you have the walk markers, and you'll see when I click, it shows a little circle and an arrow where I am going to end up when I walk there. And I quite like this as it is right here. I like the walk markers existing. It's probably especially good for places where positioning is obviously very important, and you're never 100% sure you clicked in the right spot until you get there and end up being off or needing to readjust, which is never good. You know, thinking of things like Telos for the most part, you know, that would be a good one to consider as an important one to have. Actually, I'm interested how bladed dive looks with this. I didn't actually use it yet. So if I click like here, okay, so it shows where you clicked on your bladed dive. Obviously I clicked too far away, but that'll be good to see that. You know, you'll get a little bit of a split second, you know, of warning if you know you misclicked. Like, let me see. Yeah, so like obviously way before I moved, I saw the marker, and it's still there for some reason. Is that a glitch? Did I just find a glitch with the update? If you bladed dive onto a marker, it doesn't go away. That's interesting. I guess that is a little glitch with it. Bladed diving just leaves the marker there. But, you know, something like soul lock bombs on phase 1 would be good for something like this. You get at least like a split second you know, realization that you might have misclicked, and you can try to fix it. Obviously, that doesn't really happen on soul lock phase 1, but still, it is good to have that option. But the reason I didn't have it enabled is because of the other things that it changes. Like, if it was just these walk markers alone, I actually really like it. But for example, I'll walk over here, and then when I click on the rewards trader right here, you'll see I click on him, and there's a circle around him, which is fine. But then this bubble stays up. The thing that your mouse changes to stays there the entire time, which kind of just annoys me. I don't know. I kind of want to just try and leave it on and get used to it over time, but that thing, I don't understand why that has to be there when they already have the circle around the person you're going towards. So that's the one thing that I really don't like about it, and I feel is unnecessary. So I hope they do. I don't know. I hope they remove that. I haven't really read too much on Reddit how people think of this update, but that's just my opinion on it, is that the markers on the floor are great, but the things that are above the NPCs, and it happens with almost anything that you click on. It'll just keep that icon of your. Oh yeah, exactly. Someone actually posted it right here on Reddit. The markers are really nice, but having two identical cursors on the screen is very confusing. Can this be changed so they're different? Just remove it completely. Remove the symbol that's above the thing you clicked on, because it's easy to see the circle, and it doesn't make sense to me why that's there. So glad to see that. I'll definitely give that an upvote. Hopefully they will look into doing that, maybe removing it entirely. I would say I don't see why you would need it to be different. That's just my opinion, though. I guess it is, pretty highly upvoted, so good to see that people do care about that. And then hopefully they fix this little bug that I discovered right here. But yeah, people did ask for this a while ago, and it's nice to see that they followed through on it. Actually, I'm interested. What happens if I surge now? It still stays there. Exploiting the system. Obviously that doesn't mean or do anything, but still kind of funny. You can just have that sitting there on your screen until you click again. And it does show up still if you click on your mini map, which is honestly really nice, especially for things like clue scrolls. You can get a more reasonable idea of where you're going to be, if you're going to be in the right spot for your emote or whatever. So overall, a pretty good thing. I just hope they do those small little changes, and it'll be perfect for me. But for now, I guess I might try to leave it on and just get used to it. I don't know. It's a little strange as well that it's a circle for me, just because obviously we know that the game is grid-based tiles, which are squares, of course. So, when I click here, it kind of is like, I don't know. I don't know how to word it really, but it's like it doesn't really click to where I thought I was clicking, like right there especially. You can tell, because the thing is a circle, it doesn't obviously encompass the corners of the squares. And you can click on what you think is a different square, but you'll be actually clicking on, obviously the marker still shows you where you're going. I don't know. I just don't see why they wouldn't have made it a square to match with the grid-based tiles. That just would have made way more sense to me as well. But I feel like I've gone on way too long about this. Let me know what you guys think of the screen mark or the tile walk markers in the comments, if you like them or not, and what you want changed about them. I'm digging this little bug that I found, though, for sure. Next up, though, that was actually, was that everything on the main? They did mention on the main update post about buff bar priority improvements. So they list a whole bunch of different changes, but there's now an order of buffs that are now sorted into sections. And the sections will be displayed on your buff bar in order from least to most important. And I'm not going to list all the sections they have here because there are like 10 or more. But you can check those out on the website. Basically, they said they've been working with members of the PVM community to build a system that'll be better for everybody, which is good. I didn't really have a big problem with the buff bar before personally, but one thing that is nice that they mention on here is that effects will no longer shuffle higher up the bar when they're about to expire. That could be a bit disorienting if things aren't in the same spot as you expect them, just because they're about to be running out soon. So I think that's good. They'll just flash like they do until they run out. So yeah, I haven't actually done any PVM yet today, so I haven't noticed anything really about it, but I did do a bit of dungeoneering. Like, it still has the same, icons you'd expect. There's nothing really that different about it, but like boss specific effects is the number one priority, which is good, and then defensive abilities is the number 2. So that's like the order it'll be in. You can look at all the priorities listed on that post, on the news post. So yeah, I think that's good. And the last thing was actually something I was surprised to see, really, and it's the timing of when you get your combat XP. So the way it was before today is, obviously we all know, it's been this way for pretty much since the EOC came out. You would kill something and then it would go through the whole death animation, and then you would get all your XP for the kill. Obviously previously in the old school version of the game, you would get XP every hit you did, but that obviously changed with the EOC. But ever since then, it was when the monster was gone, like it had died and done its death animation and left the drop, that you would get your XP. But they've changed it now that you get your XP right when you kill it. So you see I killed the goblin and the XP drop came up. So yeah, I don't really have an opinion on this either way. I don't really see why it needed a change, But I mean, they give the justification that it can be a bit confusing because you expect to get XP the moment you finish killing it, which makes sense to me. I just never had a problem with it. Maybe it's a new player thing, but yeah, you'll now get the XP drop for the monster right when you kill it, and I'm wondering if that is moving towards them going to have all monsters drop their items right when you kill them as well, which is already a feature at several newer monsters. Things like Acheron mammoths come to mind, I believe, do that. I'm not sure of all of them, but a lot of newer monsters do have their drops come right when you kill them. And now their XP will come as well. So I'm wondering if they're planning on shifting that to all monsters as well at some point. Would kind of make sense with this update coming. But again, I don't really have a huge opinion either way. I think it would be nice to have the drops come right away on all monsters, because some monsters have rather lengthy death animations, and if you're doing something like Slayer, it can be a bit of a pain waiting around if you do want to get your drop, because I mean, it's not that long of a time, but over an entire Slayer task, having to wait out all those death animations will add up for sure. So yeah, that was everything they listed on the main update page, but there were a couple of other things in the patch notes. They still have a full section in here for archaeology. One of them is just to do with augmented Maddox and upgrading them. So Lady Ithel, the one who gives you the crystal Maddox and other crystal items, will now be able to upgrade augmented dragon tools while carrying across the augment and the perks. I guess she couldn't do that before. I'd never run into that issue myself because I didn't augment any of my dragon tools. But yeah, that is interesting to see that they have waited so long until now to do that. But I guess since they were addressing this other issue, which is the Maddox of time and space can now be created using augmented Maddox, and you'll be able to carry across the augment and perks from one of them. I think you can pick, and that's good. Kind of too late for me. Obviously, I destroyed my I had to destroy my perks and just get new perks for my Maddox of time and space, which was a bit of a pain. But it wasn't the end of the world because I ended up getting, an upgrade on my honed and stuff. But glad to see they made that change. I know a lot of people were annoyed by that. They've also made a couple of little tweaks to various graphical things at the dig sites. Apparently the Zamorakian 3 and Zamorakian 4 collections had some things mixed up in them, and those have been fixed. So the Various trophy and the Chaos Elemental trophy have been moved up to Zami 4, and the Possession Metal Sculpture, Trishula, and Tsutsaroth Piercing have been moved to Zami 3. So I guess, I don't think that's really hugely important, but it was just to make it in line with other collections, I believe. One thing I do want to check out, actually, is they list here that some quick travel options have been added to the entrances of the Infernal Source and the Everlight dig sites, so I want to check those out. The Everlight is the one that's really nice, sounds really nice to me. Again, a lot of these things are kind of too late for me because I'm rarely going to be going to the Everlight again, if ever, on this account at least, but if I do it in the future, it'll still be nice to have these things, because obviously Everlight was the only place that didn't have any quick travel. So you came here, and then if you wanted to go to one of the places down underground, you'd have to go all the way down, take the 2 agility obstacles, and then the third one across the bridge, then go down underneath, and then jump down the wall, and then run all the way over there. It was just a big pain. And then even to getting to the Dominion Game Stadium, it's a bit of a hike. So let's see what they've added. I haven't actually checked. I'm sure it's right here. Yeah, main island, underwater cave, and the Everlight. Okay, so you still can't get anywhere quicker on the main island, but the underwater cave, that's the main big thing. It was a huge pain to walk all the way around and do all those obstacles. And then the other one, I guess, the Everlight will bring you to the top of the lighthouse, which isn't that useful, but if you ever want to get up there for a cool view, I guess that will be cool to have. The Infernal Source obviously already had some fast travel options, so I'm curious to see where they've added additional ones, maybe to the various levels of the internal area. I can't think of any other thing they would add. Let's see. Okay, so we have Star Lodge Cellar. Yeah, so we have the source, and we have all 3 levels of the source. So I guess this is the original one. The Dagon Overlook is the bottom floor, and then this, I'm sure, will bring me to the middle floor. Yes, indeed. Brings you on the Gemini portal, interestingly enough. I don't know why they wouldn't put you on the red portal you used to get down here, but I think that's good. I never really trained in the Infernal Source after 99 at all, so Not really something that affected me on the way to 200 mil, but still good to just make it a little bit easier once you've explored the whole dig site to be able to get around it a little bit easier. And then one other place was actually added to Caradette as well. And this is only available after you have activated all 8 of the shadow anchors, but will be very nice for people who are going to be training here at higher levels, including myself, as I still do want to get the Inquisitor's Staff, which I am missing one piece of. But you just click on the Fort entrance here, you'll see you can now go straight to the Praetorium, which is the war table, and you'll be put straight inside there. So not a huge big difference, because obviously you could, wow, that's a big circle around that thing, but obviously you could jump in from up above here, so it wasn't a huge walk or anything, but still just a nice convenience thing, again making it a bit easier once you've gone and explored all the dig sites already. Other than that, they also shrunk the Calgerian Demon familiar to be less ridiculous. It was absolutely huge, full-size Calgerian Demon before, and that was just way too big. So they have made that smaller, which I think is obviously a good change. Other than that, let's see if there's any other changes within the other section that I wanted to mention. They removed the stuff for the Easter event, which ended ages ago, so it took them long enough to do that. That was kind of annoying. And yeah, that's pretty much it right there. They didn't have a whole lot of other things today, but yeah, I'm interested to see your thoughts on these floor markers. I definitely agree with that Reddit post I mentioned. The 2 cursors thing is not great, but other than that, I think it's great to have the little circles on the floor. So hopefully they either make it an additional toggle or remove it entirely, because I don't see the point in having it. But obviously it makes it a little bit easier to see the exact spot you're going, but honestly, I mean, the circle is more than enough, at least for me. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much going to be the end of this video. Just went over the update this week. I do have a Hardcore Ironman episode I uploaded yesterday alongside a guide to all of the archaeology relics. I went ahead and made both of those videos yesterday, so you can check those out on my channel if you missed them. And yeah, I'll have my normal hardcore episode out coming up next weekend as usual, and if there's any other videos I want to make in between, I will go ahead and do that. I still have a couple of archaeology videos I could make, so I might do those, maybe some of the researchers and stuff like that, but we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.